Good morning, folks. This is Casey. I am one mellow marigold. Let's check in and see how our cornstarch method worked. Good morning, friends. If you followed along with my original cornstarch video, link above, it's been just about 3 weeks. And so I know that there's some growth happening under the shadow tarp. Let's take a peek and see what's going on. My carrot and radish bin, true to my word, I have not weeded this. I have not touched it. I haven't done anything to it except put the row cover on since I saw you last for the cornstarch video. I already know that there's a ton of radishes. They grow so fast, but I can also start to see some carrots. So let's get the cover off. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, Hilda. Good quiet, Hilda. Oh, here's one. Okay. Dun dun dun. Woo! So excited. So many radishes. So many radishes. Okay, let's start with the radishes. First of all, they're so adorable. They're cutie little heart-shaped leaves. I just love them. If you remember from my video, when I did the radishes with the cornstarch, I had a little consistency issue, and the bag sort of just just sort of spewed out a bunch of the mixture. And well, you can tell that this requires a lot of thinning, and this was like the first track I laid down. And then as we go on, they get a little bit thinner. We still totally have some thinning to do, and I'm going to do that today because radishes just grow super duper fast, and so I want them to have as much room as possible. So we'll definitely need to thin some of these out, but I love the concept, right? I can see that if I keep practicing this idea will get better, especially if I have a nice way to pipe out the seeds. This side, we have got carrots germinating. I am so excited, and I'm gonna need to I think I'm gonna need to zoom in and get you guys really close to see these. Okay, so the carrots are still really super tiny, but they are germinating. That is not a carrot. I don't know what that is. It's not a carrot. You can see I have nice even lines. There's definitely a lot more spacing in between the carrots, which is super duper cool. Possibly too much spacing, if I'm being honest, but I think a lot of the seeds also have not germinated yet. So you can see like some places they have little bunches, some little bunches, but some like these are just nicely, super nicely spaced out. I have lovely straight rows of carrots. I do think there's probably seeds in here that just have not germinated yet. These have all just started popping through the ground in the last day or so. So I think the method is working well so far. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of areas that just have not germinated yet. These all just started popping out of the ground in the last couple of days. So I think there's still a lot more in here that will germinate and start filling in some of these rows a little bit. But I gotta say, some of these areas, the carrots are like super nicely spaced already. Much better than the radishes. So I think that's pretty darn cool. All right, now I'm gonna just thin out these radishes a little bit. We're gonna be able to get a few different crops of radishes, so a ton of these can come out. See, this is the part nobody likes to do. So many seedlings we are not going to need. Ooh, look at that. Look how cute this root stem is getting already. Neat, huh? Okay. Got a big old glob in here. It looks like a really nice healthy one. I'm going to leave that one. Radishes are round. They're little balls of root. So if they're super close to other little balls of root, none of them will have, they'll compete for nutrients. They just physically won't have the size to expand in the soil space that they're in, and they'll just stay really small. And what's the point of beautiful radishes if they're all going to stay really small, right? Ground is nice and moist, so it's making it easy to just pull them out. And I will probably have to thin one more time. Ooh, that's a nice big one. I'll leave that. And now this, like as I'm doing this, I hope this makes you see why people might want to try the cornstarch method, because it is a little bit tedious to be, you know, carefully selecting the radishes that you think are going to do the best. And man, I'm only planting a few rows of it. I can't imagine having a huge garden full of radishes. Like if I was growing for farmer's market or something, that would feel, I wonder how farmers do it. I should watch a YouTube video on that. I think we all do YouTube because we also love YouTube. I know I do. I just like wanted to be part of it. Look at that. That is a much better row. Look at everything we took out though in just that one little row. That's a bunch. That is a bunch. Now these rows are starting to get a lot easier. This is where I had better control over the piping bag. Still a few to thin, but less, definitely less. This is a wonderful moment to remind you about presence. This is it. This does not have to feel like a chore. Take a deep breath. Smell the soil. Smell the root. Smell what it looks like. Think about what you're doing. Don't worry about anything else you got to do today. Don't worry about cleaning. Don't worry about laundry. Don't worry about going back to work tomorrow. Just be with your plants. Have a relationship with your plants. My cutie patootie neighbor kids, I think, had a sleepover last night. You could hear them yelling in the background. They're so cute. I love all the neighbor kids. Oh my gosh. You remember what it was like to be that young and have that kind of energy? My goodness. Okay, there we go. There are my radishes up close. Aren't they just beautiful? They're so like just cute and bright and green. They've all got a little bit more room now to grow. And as I mentioned, I'll probably come out here and do one more thinning. That's everything I took out today. So we'll throw that in compost. And then we have got our little carrots germinating. Super excited. Outside of the cornstarch method, I am also doing other work in the yard. This is where my sweet corn grows. You can see some of the old stalks still in the ground. I do that on purpose so that I know to plant in between them next time, and then they also help to hold up the row cover that I put over the top. So getting the beds cleaned out. Sweet corn will go in maybe the end of next week. I think so. In this back corner, it looks like it would get a ton of sun, but it does not totally get a ton of sun. I am going to try quinoa back here, and I also might put in some bean poles and put some beans up and see how they do. Back here, this stretch is where the sunflowers are going to go. I just love the sunflowers. I plant mammoths, so they get really nice and tall, and they come up above the fence. Here I've got some golden beets in pots that are just starting to germinate. You can see them starting to poke through there. And in here I have got some chard. I love chard. I've got some spinach planted in this bad boy. Over here I've got some leaf lettuce that is starting to come up. This little back area has not been weeded out at all, but this ends up being my herb area, and it's actually perfect because the sun comes down this area like early in the morning, especially the further into summer that we get. But this is kind of a little weird corner of the house, and so I actually get late afternoon shade much earlier here than the rest of the yard does. So for all of the herbs that love heat but just can't be in the heat all the time, this has ended up being a really great area. Obviously have to clean it up. These again are stunning and gorgeous as usual. Look at those beautiful. I just love daffodils. That is it for me, folks. It is kind of windy and gloomy out here. So I may do a few more chars, but I'm gonna go on and get warmed up here for a little bit. I will keep you updated on all things carrot and radish and all things gardening. And I hope your growing is going well this year. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.